Natsu versus Gray. Now today I'm going to be announcing one of the biggest fights that have been speculated in the fandom ever since the start of the series, Natsu versus Gray. Now to be honest, there's been a lot of different opinions about both characters going back and forth, and today I'm going to break it all down for everybody, so sit back and let's get into it. Now for starters, I do believe that Natsu and Gray, they do have that Vegeta and Goku-esque type of rivalry, when we know that they're basically friends, but at the same time they don't admit it, similar to Naruto and Sasuke, whereas they're friends, but at the same time they're big rivals. They're always going to be competing. And I know that a lot of people in the series, they actually would disagree with me on that one. A lot of people, they say that Gajio has that Goku and Vegeta rivalry. I can see what people are saying, because Natsu and Gajio, they both are Dragon Slayers. Goku and Vegeta, they both are Saiyans. So in that kind of aspect, I can see what they mean. And on top of that, Gajio, we know that he did turn from good to evil, just like Vegeta. So you can definitely argue that, but me personally, at the same time, I just gotta say, nah, I think it goes better with Gray, because their connection, I think, is a lot more better than what Natsu and Gajio have. So yeah, that's why I have him up there. I know a lot of people in the series or in the fandom, they say stuff like Natsu and Gray's relationship is on that Goku and Krillin relationship. I'm like, whoa, hell no. Listen. When you say that, you gotta chill, because Krillin, he turned to fodder like after Dragon Ball. Gray, he is nowhere near fodder. He is definitely still one of the strongest people. So to say that Gray got down to Krillin level, yeah, that's the ultimate form of disrespect. So please don't say that. If you're one of those people, stop it, because it's not true. Now, believe it or not, within the actual, like, online in the anime community, I've actually seen a lot of people hate on Natsu. They think Natsu is a trash character. They think he's bad, terribly written, friendship power, obnoxious speeches. Like, people, they just hate Natsu. I noticed that a lot. A lot of the casuals don't, but a lot of people online do. It's weird. But me personally, I like Natsu as a character. You know what I'm saying? Because I understand what Natsu's supposed to be. He's not supposed to be some deep character that makes you rethink life. Like, he's not going to be one of those people. No. He's your typical shonen MC. He likes to eat a lot. He likes to fight. Everything. Like, Natsu, I get it. I get what Natsu's supposed to be. So I don't really look at him to be something like a super deep and, like, a deep character or anything like that. So I actually like Natsu. I enjoy him a lot. Now, Gray, on the other hand, I'm not gonna lie. The amount of hate that I see for Gray from the casual fans is disgusting. Like, I uploaded a video a while back of Natsu and Gray versus Aerith, and a lot of people were like, no, Gray's way too weak. Gray shouldn't even be able to stand a chance against Natsu. And I'm like, dude, like, what? Where is everybody getting this from? What? Listen, if you're one of the Gray haters, why do you guys hate on Gray? Like, listen, that just blows my mind to think that people can actually hate on Gray. From a character standpoint, Gray is a way better written character. I said it. Gray is a way better written character than Natsu. Me personally, I just gotta say that Gray's backstory, his motive, everything, I think Gray is like a way better written character. Don't get me wrong, I like both of the characters a lot. Gray is my fourth favorite character. Natsu is my fifth favorite character. So I like the characters a lot, but I just can't fathom why people hate on Gray. Like, why? Why would people say that? Like, I just don't understand it at all. If you're one of the people, make sure you tell me in the comment section down below. Now, let's look at their actual fighting skills. Prior to the time skip, prior to where we are right now, I want to say the first, through the start of the series, Natsu versus Gray, you can argue that Natsu was stronger than Gray. I can say that right now, because Natsu, he was getting all the power-ups back then. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Natsu, he was getting stuff like Lightning Dragon mode. He was getting all these different dragon forces. He was getting the Flame Dragon God. Like, Natsu, he was doing good. Me personally, pre-time skip, he stomped Gray out, because he was just getting way too much abilities, and at that point, nobody could really touch him. Gray, on the other hand, before the time skip, he only really had Ice Make Magic. Don't get me wrong, Ice Make Magic is cool and all, but yeah, that's not going to be able to stop you from having all the stuff like, oh, like having all the different dragon forces, having all these different abilities. So me personally, I do think that pre-time skip Natsu, and what I mean by pre-time skip, I mean before the 1 year time skip, because let's be honest, the 7 year time skip, that ain't really do anything for the characters. So yeah, before the 1 year time skip, I do think that Natsu was way stronger than Gray. Now, after the time skip. Let's talk about that. We saw them go at it a little bit in the Avatar arc when Gray was pretending to be evil, and to be honest, they were looking evenly matched. Now, don't get me wrong, none of them used their full power. We know that for a fact. We know that Gray, or Natsu, he didn't use Blaze Dragon King mode, and Gray, he didn't even use what his secret ability is for Zeref. So none of them went all out, but just based off of raw strength alone, they were kind of even. Like, you can't even lie there. So if we're basing off the Avatar arc, then yeah, we can say that they were pretty even. But let's talk about even more after the time skip. We see that Natsu came back with Blaze Dragon King mode, and a lot of people are saying that with Blaze Dragon King mode, he could have defeated Zeref. Me personally, I'm in the middle, to be honest, because some days I think that, you know what, Natsu, he could have killed Zeref with Blaze Dragon King mode. Zeref was waiting for him to attack. Zeref himself even thought that Natsu was going to kill him, so you can argue that if he was going to kill them. But on the other hand, there's a part of me that thinks there's no way that Natsu could have beaten Zeref that easily. Well, it wasn't easily, but the part of me thinks that there's no way that Natsu could have beaten Zeref with the Blaze Dragon King mode. Maybe Zeref was overestimating him, but that's a little bit, that's why I'm in the middle. I wouldn't even be mad at you if you said either or, but we still haven't seen what Gray could do post time skip fully. Now, I'm going to be talking about their abilities and their future throughout the series, their potential. Me personally, I think that Natsu, of course, he does have like the Blaze Dragon King mode and everything. And me, we haven't seen Gray go all out from the time skip yet. He still hasn't had that huge fight. We know that he's going to have a huge fight later on, but let's just talk about his Devil Slaying ability. And when we talk about that, we got to talk about Silver. Yes, Silver. Don't sleep on Silver. A lot of people forget that this guy straight up one-shot at Natsu. If Silver really wanted to, he could have destroyed Natsu. So just imagine when Gray masters that ability, it's going to be the same, because he's going to be able to do the same stuff, if not better things than Silver. So you already know that it's going to be super dope when Gray finally unlocks all that stuff. And on top of that, even before the time skip, if we want to talk about just abilities, I guess, during the Tartarus arc, we saw that Natsu and Gray, they were both a little bit even. So definitely from that 1 year time, from the beginning of the series, Gray did close the gap after he got Devil Slaying magic. Because let's be honest, if it was Natsu versus Margear, they would have lost. If it was Gray versus Margear, you could argue that Gray could have boxed him out. Listen, you could have argued that because, listen, Gray, he had the magical advantage with the Devil Slaying magic. Margear was a demon. So you can argue, me personally, I think that Gray would have lost, but I think Gray would have had a higher chance of beating Margear alone if he actually did fight him one-on-one with Natsu. So it's obvious that he closed the gap. Now, as for the secret abilities, we know that Natsu, he's going to become END at some point. That's a given. He's going to have some type of transformation. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. We know that. And then Gray, on the other hand, we know that he has a secret ability for Zeref. And this pisses me off. When I see people say stuff like, oh, Gray, he can't go one-on-one with Zeref. Zeref's going to mop the floor with him. Gray said that he had a secret ability for Zeref, so I don't get why people find that hard to believe. I mean, everybody at this point has a secret ability for Zeref. We know that Jalal and his crew has a secret ability for him, so I don't see why people find it so hard to believe that Gray has a secret technique in order to defeat Zeref. I think a lot of people they're not giving Gray his props. So we know that once they both have we see Natsu use his secret ability, and now that he does have Neil's power, I don't know if he's going to be able to beat him, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Gray's ability, his secret ability, is going to be greater than Natsu's. I said it. Listen, I said it. Don't get me wrong, Natsu's ability was beast, but look at it like this way. Their motives are completely different for taking out Zeref. Natsu, on one hand, he has that generic motive for taking out Zeref. You know, he wants to take him out just because he's evil. You know, that's no different from what someone like Makarov would want to do. But Gray, on the other hand, the reason why he wants to take out Zeref is far better, in my opinion, than Natsu's. He had to see his father go through all that stuff. His father was resurrected. His father was turned into a demon. He had to fight against his father. He had to see his father die in front of him again. So I think that Gray, he has a lot more hatred towards Zeref than what Natsu would have, because he just saw how evil, how manipulative Zeref was. So I think that Gray, he actually thought, you know what, I gotta destroy him. Gray, I think he has a lot more motive and a lot more drive to actually taking out Zeref. And last but not least, what everybody came here for, who do I have? Who am I picking for Natsu versus Gray end of series? Me personally, if we're talking about the end of the series, I gotta go with Natsu because end of series Natsu is gonna be crazy. I mean, I know a lot of people might be like, whoa, 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 you were hyping up Gray. Yeah, I was hyping up Gray because I think that he doesn't get respect. But Natsu end of series, he's gonna be a bad man. We know that he has Natsu natural Dragon Force. He's probably gonna get a new Dragon Force. He's gonna get E&D transformation, and we know that E&D transformation that's gonna be on par with Acnologia. So put two and two together. Gray, he has no chance against Acnologia, and that's facts. Like that's just straight up facts. He has no chance against him. Natsu, he's going to actually have a chance against him. So that just shows you the power scaling between those two. And then on top of that, Natsu, he's going to have way more at the end of the series than I think Gray will. But if we're talking about right now where we are in the manga, Natsu versus Gray, I gotta say that they're even, and it could go either way. Me personally, I would side with Gray if we're talking about right now. But end of series wise, I do think that Natsu is going to actually have the upper hand on him. But if we're talking about right now in the series, I gotta go with Gray. So yeah, overall, that's basically it for this little debate. Who do you guys have in the Natsu and Gray debate? I know this was pretty long. I was rambling a lot, but yeah, that's basically it. Comment what you guys think down below. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out.